Good morning to the Shans, and this is again Teacher Anna, your learning partner. So, last week we have learned about lesson number 3, and that is about the differentiated essays, or personal or informal essays, the literary reportage, the descriptive essay, and the reflective essay. Now, let's go to lesson number 4 of Unit 3. So this is entitled Special Types of Creative Nonfiction. So this talks about the travel writing, the food writing, and nature writing. So if you love creative nonfiction, or if you love writing, so this is very important for you to learn. So you can be a travel writer. So it means like you will travel a lot and write everything about your travels, and food writing, in which you will write a review about differentiated food in differentiated hotels or restaurants, so that they will have their levels like 5 stars, 3 stars, or 1 star or 2 stars, just like that. And for the nature writing, so let's try to know more about these special types of creative nonfiction. So some of this, or a lot of authors and writers, became wealthy through the use of this kind of creative nonfiction. So today, or at the end of this lesson, you are expected to determine the distinguishing characters or characteristics of travel writing, food writing, and nature writing, and write a short piece of food writing that will feature a special dish. So let's go. Let's try to know this differentiated kind of writing. So let's start with travel writing. So all of this is my favorite, but in ranking, travel writing is the first because you can travel and at the same time you can have a work. Yeah, so travel writing, guys, is a form of creative nonfiction that describes the narrator's experiences in foreign places. So, imuha na siyang i ano, i-describe di mo everything that happened under the sun in the foreign places. So, uh, this type of writing usually includes a narration of the journey undertaken by the narrator from his or her point of origin to the eventual destination, with all the hazards and inconveniences encountered along the way. It also entails, so, sa pag-travel nimo gikan sa airport paingon sa laing nga lugar or sa laing nga country, so you need to narrate it one by one. So, you need also to entail or describe its local cultures or local costumes. Ang silang ginabuhat dito. Do they have kadayawan or even any other festivals? Their costumes and traditions, so you need to describe it too. And then the landscape or cityscape, the native cuisine, the historical and cultural landmarks, and the sights and sounds that the visited place has to offer. So, mo ni siya ang kanindot sa travel writing because you are going to like narrate and describe everything that you have experienced from that certain place. And then, but for travel writing, guys, to qualify as a good literature and a cut above commercial travel guides aimed at potential tourists. So, makatabang ni siya sa mga potential tourists at the same time, dili basta-basta maging or mag-qualify as a travel writing. So, you need to have a very good literature, and you need to have kanang ano gid siya, writing na makatabang or makaguide sa mga potential tourists, and must also contain a corresponding physical or inner journey. So meaning na jud kay mga picture dito, na jud kay inner journey. So meaning nagstay ka dito nga lugar in a lot of days too. That is travel writing. So, di ba, nice kayo siya, guys. It is because you can travel at the same time. You can write, and maybe from that travel, you can earn a lot. Okay? Now, let's go to food writing. So, ito yung pinaka the best din, guys. Second to the best for me. Because you can eat something delicious, and you can write something, or even give a review about it. So, a direct offshoot, guys, of travel writing was that has evolved into a literary subgenre. So, gikan dito sa travel writing, na-develop nga subgenre of its own, and that is food writing. It is a type of creative nonfiction, guys, that focuses on gustatory delights or disasters while simultaneously narrating an interesting story as well as sharing an insight or two about the human condition. So the relationship between food writing and travel writing is best expressed by Richard Sterling in his preface to Food, A Taste of the Road. But there is one universal constant in travel. So, in travel talaga, guys, pinakauna ginatanaw or pinakauna dyan nga sumaybayan ani is the food. Okay? The food that is uniquely found in that certain place. So, and then food writers consider food not only as necessary substances for survival, kasi mamugo ni siya ang imuhang kuan at tuon jud ang nga lugar kasi masarap ang ganito ganyan. So, and then it is also a survival sa mode or substance nga makasurvive ka. Kasi there are also some places nga dili jud kaganahan sa mga pagkaon in which magkasakit na noon ka kay dili kaganahan sa mga pagkaon, just like that. Uh, but as manifestation of culture as well. So, dili lang siya mode of survival, and then it is also a manifestation of culture. So, just like in other countries, a lot of countries good nga ano siya, wala sila nagka-practice or dili sila nagkakaon og rice. So, food writers, guys, mao na ilahang ginabuhat. So, ilaha jud tong describe ang food, and then the culture that is in it. So, like, in the old days or in the past, in the history, mao nilang ginakaon tungod kay nani, nana. So, just like that. Now, American food, guys, writer Mark Korlansky provides us the range and domain of this literary subgenre when he proclaims that food is about agriculture, about ecology, about man's relationship with nature, about the climate, about nation building, cultural struggles, friends and enemies, alliances, wars, religion. It is about memory and tradition, and at times even about sex. So, for guys, para kay Mark Kolansky, isa siya sa mga American food writer. Ang food daw is not just about something wala ta kabalo, because this is a relationship. Ang pagkaon nag-talks about agriculture. Yes, it is because kung unsa nga available nga plant or available nga agricultural products, ana nga place, mao na nga available nga pagkaon. And then, it is all about ecology. It is also about man's relationship with nature. Kasi, ang nature, they are giving what are the available menu or available food that you can consume in a certain place. That's why it's really about your relationship with nature. labi na kung vegetarian ka. And then it also talks about the climate. Kasi kung unsa lang ang available food dira kasi it is because of the climate too. Like because it is too hot in that place, watermelon is the most fruit in that place, just like that. And then if it is also very cold in that place, like strawberries are just available fruit in that place because it's very cold. So it talks about climate then. And then it also talks about nation building. Kasi meron din mga pagkain na nagre-represent siya sa ating kultura, natin sa ating nation. Like for example, for the Philippines, yeah, so sikat sa to ang balut, Philippine delicacies, like adobo. And then, cultural struggles, so para sa pud sa China nga, kanang rice bowls nila, that is also a symbol of their cultural struggles kasi itong ginano pa sila, ginasako pa sila sa ubang mga dynasties and even different nations. So, mo na siya nag-represent kasi mo na ilang ginakaon usually. Inig, mm, nagatago sila or kanang pambaon nila ba. Labi na kung nagatago sila from the enemies or from the ang nagapasakit sa ilaha so mo po na ilang ginakaon. So that is also showmanship or mo na siya ang nagapakita og cultural struggles. So it also talks about friends and enemies. Yes, it's because there are food that are friends and then there are food nga murag magkasulungat ang iyahang ang iyahang taste. And then it also talks about alliances, like for example, the spaghetti. Spaghetti is from the Spaniards. So we have na to, giganahan to tag spaghetti and a lot of nations are, jud, kanang ganahan pud og spaghetti. So, it also talks about alliances like brotherhood. Although gisakop ta nila, but still we are, kanang good friends with the Spain. It is because we are also alliances or alliance with the or friendly neighbor and neighbor sisterhood nation ta sa Spain. And then for wars, mo po na siya nag-represent. Ang ubang food kay nag-represent sa war. So mo lang na yung ginakaon because there is war just like that. Religion po. So now let's go to the next one. So the third one that I think one of my or the third or my third favorite guys is the nature writing too. So I hope you also like nature writing. So when we say nature writing guys, it can also be considered as an offshoot of travel writing. So mo siya ang kanang offshoot. Ang kuan lang sa travel writing guys is man gid siya the totality of the country that you are visiting. While in the nature writing guys, nag-focus siya sa jud sa katong delights, like for example a certain and specific place. So ang example ani nga libro guys is the environmental and the nature writing, a writer's guide and anthology by by Cian Prentice and Joe Wilkins. So if you want to know more about the nature or nature writing, you can also read this book of environmental and nature writing. So if you want to know more about this this kind of writing. So ang nindot ani guys kay specific man siya nga place, so you need also to highlights the beauty and majesty of the natural world as well as humanity's special relationship with Mother Earth. So, pwede po nimo maapil og sulat diri kung unsa nga to ang relationship with Mother Earth o kung saan nato para mapanatili nga nindot og gwapa ang kana siya nga lugar. So, but some forms of nature writing guys, so instead of celebrating pristine landscapes and exotic plants and animals, zero in on the abuses committed by mankind, So, pwede po nimo siya i-appeal tong mga abuses committed by mankind on the natural environment like kanang sobra ra ka pagpatay sa mga hayop or putol sa mga kahoy. So, that is also one of the nature writing kanang pagpukaw ba nga dapat protektahan po nato ang ato ang nature para kani ma ano para makitaan pa sa mga future generations. So this is a literary genre, guys. It is highly dependent on scientific facts and figures. So depend yun siya sa scientific facts, meaning dapat tinuod ang imuhang ginasulat, and then the figures about the natural world while integrating private observations. So mag-integrate kag imuhang private nga investigation, imuhang nga pagtanaw about anang nature, and then plus the specific place, the specific beauty and majesty. So, kung nabay tay mga violations and abuses nga nabuhat, and then you need to depend on scientific facts like nagaano ni siya, nagatubo ni siya because ani ana. And then you are also going to cite some scientific facts. Like for example, according to www.encyclopedia.com, this type of literature, depending upon its emphasis and the period of genre in which it is written, it is variously called natural philosophy, natural history, environmental literature, and nature writing. So, mo ni siya ang kanindot, guys, no? Kasi mo siya integrate. Labi na, if you love science, and then you love discoveries, so, scientific, meaning and scientific facts and figures sa imong i-appeal, and then plus your personal observations about that certain place. So I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. So today we have learned about the three kinds of creative or special types of creative nonfiction. We have learned travel writing, food writing, and nature writing. So thank you so much. Have a great day, traditions, and please do your best every day. Always remember to do your best and make your parents proud. Have a great day. See you again, traditions. Bye.